Yo, what's going on? I'm Illy and I'm here chatting with MILKY. This is the 7th album, so it'd be pretty disappointing if it didn't evolve. I started as a more underground Aussie hip-hop artist, developed more mainstream, more pop songs, more pop writing, which I've always loved. And I think this album is really the most fleshed out version of that. A lot of the tracks aren't even hip-hop sounding. There's no rap in them. It's more just pushing myself as a songwriter, trying different styles, feeling the most comfortable I've ever felt doing that. Yeah, I think that, that 3-year gap between the space between and Good Life has given me the time to really explore that properly. The positivity of it is kind of rooted in, coming out of COVID, kind of having to reconfigure and rework out the career. Music industry's still going through it. It's kind of starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but the last few years have been really tough. I've obviously had a career that was around before COVID. The trajectory of it has changed quite dramatically from those couple of years that we lost. And so rather than, I spent a lot of time sort of down about that and feeling like I'd had something taken away from me that I wasn't going to be able to get back, and carrying that chip on my shoulder. Feeling sorry for yourself doesn't get you anywhere. The only progress that's been made in the last few years has been when I've shaken that mentality. So coming into this album and presenting it as a body of work to people that like my music, people that don't know my music, but wanting to put it out into the world, it had to have that edge of like a positive message, and not necessarily like fluffy positivity or like warm cuddly shit, but just like, yo, things can suck. And life is going to be difficult at times. You're going to be disappointed by people, by circumstance. If you keep moving forward, you'll get through it. And that's kind of where Good Life came from. Being content, not settling, but being content with what you have, not worrying about what you don't have so much. And that's been a journey for me. I think it's a perspective that I've definitely got more comfortable with in the last few years. And it doesn't feel like, the concept of settling feels kind of like, this is my lot, this is what I've got, this is all it's going to be. It's not that. It's just like finding a level of contentness in the simple things, having family healthy, having your friends and people you love around, and being in a good spot themselves, and just those little things, Over the last, it's been going to be over 3.5 years since Space Between. And I started working on, some of these songs have existed in one form or another even before the last album, but were held off for different reasons, mainly because I believed in the songs and they weren't going to get a proper chance to shine on an album that came out when, our country was completely locked down. But we did, including them, maybe 80, 100, maybe more demos to different levels of completion. A lot of them were more rap songs. But when it came down to whittling the final track list, the songs that excited me the most were not all the rap songs. I think that kind of, it was exciting to me, because it's like, depending on the day in the studio, when you walk into a studio, you might have something that you want to do in mind, but you also might just be like, let's just see what the vibe is. And being able to do that, having that extra amount of time, you could go in and You Don't Like Me, which is kind of like punky, rocky, kind of scuzzy. And it was like, yeah, let's do that. And it came together and it was sick. Or, Good Night, Good Luck is a fucking country song. Let's try that. Or Rings, which is like more of it's like a electronics, like EDM. It's like, fuck it, let's do that. And so we're just pulling influences from the people that I was working with and just shit that I listened to. And I'm looking forward to seeing people hear it, because I think there's no one that's going to hear it and not at least a couple of times be like, whoa, I didn't fucking see that coming. And to me, that's pretty exciting to be able to do on a 7th album, Yeah, it was a mix of people that I admire, respect them obviously as artists in their own right, or as creative people that were friends, or people that were friends of friends. I didn't really go too far outside of, at least there being one degree of separation. It was all very kind of reaching out to people that I kind of knew, or had people who knew, just good people. And it all came together really naturally. It was just a really enjoyable process. And it's the first time sort of reaching, I've had long-term collaborators, and this was the first album where I didn't really rely on them at all, and that was a really cool experience. Man, there's been like 3 maybe iterations of it. Put out a song in 2022 called Like You. There was an album pretty close to being done then, but held off, still coming out of like the tail end of COVID, just being cautious, not wanting anything to happen. Put out a song last year called Hopeless, where there was another version of the album, but it didn't sit right. I was like, this is good, but it's not quite there. And then, yeah, got to here now. So it's taken on a few different forms, yeah. There's usually some sitting down involved, usually in a studio. But yeah, again, it kind of just goes back to as far as like what came out of each session. It was really just like more often than not, it was going in with no real idea, just trusting that in the session something's going to come. There was a few that weren't like that. More of the rap songs where it's like, I got something that I want to say. But a lot of the other ones, it was kind of just catching a vibe and just running with it, which was, again, like quite, I don't know if freeing's too like corny a word, but it was the first time in the career that I've really just been like, no, like whatever stylistically it sounds like, let's just follow it down the path and see where it gets to, which was cool. They're all good. Probably Good Life, Braveheart, and maybe Good Night, Good Luck, or Kids, or Closer, or Throwbacks, or whatever you want. I mean, yeah, they're all pretty good. But those first 3, I reckon, would be the ones. Yeah, we're still piecing the set list together, and like I'm definitely gonna have to get to the gym. It's gonna be pretty breathless, particularly like the opening sort of third of it. It's gonna be very like get a lot of the sort of heavy stuff out of the way, hit it hard. But it's the first time I'm playing capital cities in quite a few years, so I'm really excited to actually get out there, just to be on stage in the cities for the first time in a while. And these new songs, I know like throughout my entire career, I've always gone in with one eye on how are these going to translate live. The fact that these are different genres didn't change that. It was like everything that I do, I want to translate live really well. We've always been great live, me and my band, and yeah, that's just, I'm always conscious of that in the studio. Like, I don't want to make things that are going to kind of fall flat. So yeah, like building the set, it's going to be a mission. There's going to be lots of hours on the treadmill between now and the tour, but I'm looking forward to it. Jay-Z, Sia. Let's go. Yeah, if it's immediate, that's it. Yeah. Black Album by Jay-Z, The Calling by Hilltop Hoods. I'd love to do like Batman, like Dark Knight or Joker or something, but I'm sure I'd fuck it up and it was already pretty good, so we'll leave it there. Don't fuck up the lyrics, and inevitably I do at one point in the set, but it's fine. Miley Cyrus. First song that's made me fall in love with rap was Changes by Tupac. Yeah. I can't even remember. It would have been with my parents when I was little, but I can't remember what it would have been. Daft Punk 2007, which was insane. I was like just old enough to be a part of that. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City is the best rap show I've ever seen. I thought the Princess Theatre was gonna collapse in Melbourne. Those two. So that's 2007 and 2012, I think. And I've been to a lot of shows, a lot of great ones, but those two are like, yeah, pivotal. Spice Girl? I was gonna say Ice Spice, but I think it's taken. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to do a show in New York. Been a few. Triple J One Night Stand in 2014. Splendor 2016 when That Morning Paper Cuts went #1. I honestly think some of these shows will be really massive because it's the first time playing capital cities myself since COVID. So yeah, I've played a lot of shows, man. Honestly, I'd love to see anyone do like one of the big, like Tightrope or Paper Cuts or Then What or something. I'd love to see anyone do a good cover of it, because I haven't really seen anyone cover it and particularly put a unique spin on it. So like, I don't know who, but if I would love to see someone do an interesting and different take of one of my songs. Yeah. In hip hop, like globally in the last 10 years, it'd have to be Drake. Before that, Kanye, and before that, Jay-Z. Locally, I mean, as far as hip hop and rap, it's the Hilltop Hoods, and it's not even close. Put the vape down, bro. Pretty much everything. It's been all I wanted to do since I was a little kid, and it's given me a life that, cliche as it sounds, that I dreamed about. And you know, going on to my 7th album, the fact that I still get to do it is crazy. So I owe so much of my life and who I am to music. So everything, yeah. Damn, that's a good one. I immediately thought Journey, Don't Stop Believing, but I know it's not that. I can't, I don't know. Fuck, well, that's the wackest answer. I can't remember, but I was very young. Yeah, it would have been like 6, 7, 8.